0, 1.
Let's get started.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In today's episode, I'm getting you all ready with a game plan to make us some money in tomorrow's market session for the S&P 500 and a top stock, okay, on December the 5th. And make sure you stay tuned to the very end so you can see a trade review to see this game plan live and in action, because it is a bit different than what you're going to see here on me talking about it, okay? So with that being said, everyone, let's go ahead into the charts of today so we can figure out a game plan. Now, ultimately, the things we said yesterday are pretty much what's stated today. We talked about this range here, okay? Now, you see that there is a stacked range on here as well, which we will cover towards the end of the S&P 500 analysis. But first, let's just be aware, okay, that the most primary range is the first one that's on the left. And from that perspective, this full distance from here to here is subjectively what we're going to be looking for as far as the worst case scenario as the market would look to continue its rotation to the downside, okay? I know that's a mouthful, but just in general, know that we could end up rotating directly lower from this position, okay? Now that would look more than likely something like this, where we could go up just a little bit higher and then we find ourselves collapsing and going lower. Now, the first major hurdle is going to be this 681 level, which we'll also talk about that in the future. But just know from there, we should see if this is going to collapse, some sort of like pivot around this area. And then again, a continuation going lower, ultimately looking to tag the opposite side of the range, which sits somewhere right now at 677.5. Okay. So this would be like the direct path going lower from this current position. All right. Now, other than this, I think the most important thing is the elephant in the room. And as you can see, there is a stacked range, okay? Now, we have this range here that's broken to the upside. And if we find ourselves rotating the full distance underneath this range above, we can first then look for a range rotation. Now, I'll explain that just right now. So the full distance underneath should be the full distance that we expect to go above, okay? So in this particular situation, don't be too surprised if we gap up tomorrow. And if we gap up tomorrow, we should find ourselves basically somewhere close to that 687 level, okay? Now, if we find ourselves up there, we are more likely to actually fail to break out and then look for the rotation now going back down through this low, okay? Now, we will have to pick up a whole bunch of steam because the full distance above this mini range or stacked range will be the distance that we're looking to travel underneath that range, okay? Which is again why we talked about the major level of support, which is right there at 681.25, all right? So if we do go directly higher, everyone, I would expect us to actually fail and look for the rotation coming back down. So it's technically a bear case scenario, although we are pushing up bullishly at first. All right. Now, for us to really show significant signs for us to be a true buyer, we're going to have to see this thing basically break out and go substantially higher, okay? Now, how high we have to go, we will navigate that in tomorrow's live stream, so be sure to join me. However, for right now, we'll have to see significant strength going higher, and then we can then shift our mindset to trying to buy the dip as we look to continue to push higher, okay? Now, there is a major characteristic difference, so you will have to be aware of that. But the most important thing in measuring this is you can use this first breakout leg to determine that third leg / entry leg, okay? So this full distance here would be the best case scenario for our continuation pattern of the bull case scenario to the upside, okay? So don't be too surprised that if you do get in this thing, that the market just continues to run for the rest of the day. Now, that's going to be basically how I'm looking at the market for tomorrow. Again, if we go up higher, we'll have to go up significantly higher on strength. And then we should look for, if it happens, a bullish recovery. However, I am more likely to think that we're going to see this red case scenario play itself out if we do go directly higher and get above this range high, okay? If we simply just kind of go a bit higher, then I would assume that actually the market's more than likely going to reverse and, yeah, come back down to 677.5, all right? Now, with that being said, everyone, that's the game plan for the S&P 500, but we will be talking about the stock of the day, and that's going to be Tesla. Now, Tesla is a bit unique overall because it is in a characteristically easy position to understand what's going to happen next. So basically what we have here is a really, really big move up and a retest of the high that's been confirmed, okay? Now, what I would like to see traditionally is in terms of like the A+ setup idea, if I get rid of everything on the chart, is that I would like to see the market actually to come back down, okay? We should see it pop back up just slightly into like the 456 area, and then we should see some sort of like twin variation in which we rotate back down to the low. Now, from this low, we should actually find ourselves bouncing back up and creating what is a pretty standard looking range, okay? There will be some midpoint in there, which will kind of be like this. And then obviously you can see from there, it would just be some sort of standard range. Now it is a bullish overall range. So if you do miss the sell at the high, be sure to be ready for the buy at the low, because the buy at the low is even a better opportunity to make some money. Okay. Now from that position, just be aware the only other scenario, if we do go directly higher, would be an actual breakout. And that breakout, just like we talked about earlier on the S&P 500, it will have to be significantly higher, okay? Now, if it is significantly higher, we can then now just be patient, wait for the pullback, and then ultimately the continuation going back up to the prior high, okay? So it's pretty much how I'm looking at Tesla. This one should actually be, I want to say it's going to be easy because no trade is obviously easy, but this one is pretty clear on what it wants to do. If we do gap down, then we obviously know that we're looking to buy this thing. So if we just gap down to 445 and 3/4, we should be looking to buy it back up. And if it falls down substantially lower, then obviously you want to change your game plan a bit. But for right now, anywhere like in that 445 area is premium space to be buying Tesla, at least for the shorter term bullish return. Okay. So again, everybody, hopefully this video has helped you all out when navigating the S&P 500, as well as obviously the top stock. We will be trading this exact same system and game plan on NinjaTrader's futures chart tomorrow morning for the live stream for all the YouTube members. So be sure to come on back at 9:30, where there will be a live stream up so you can see me trading personally the chart for tomorrow's session. Okay. So with that being said, everyone, I just want to say thank you for all your love and continued support. And I'll be sure to see you, if not in the live stream, then on the very next candle.
I know it's hard to trust so-called gurus. That's why I live stream my trades every single day, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. The live stream isn't for you to copy my trades, it's to show proof and credibility that my strategy works. The stream is delayed and muted to protect my edge. But if you want to see everything unmuted and in real time, check out the Discord and Patreon links below. You'll get exclusive perks and the opportunity to learn the system for yourself, so you don't miss great opportunities just like this one.